Hello guys, welcome back to my new planting video. I'm Wilna. This is my channel where I usually talk and share all about the planting things. And for today's video, I want to share with you guys how I water and how I fertilize my plants that lives in Pafcal Chips and also LECA balls. But before we get started, I would like to say thank you very much to my subscriber for requesting this video. I really appreciate your request, guys, your opinion, your comments, and your suggestion about any type of planting thing. For me, actually, it's more than a pleasure to share some of the knowledge with you all, guys. So it's also a very great experience to communicate with you guys on this platform. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So guys, this is a LECA balls and this is a Pafcal chips. LECA is actually an expanded clay. Meanwhile, Pafcal chips is a combination of sponge and ground-breaking materials. These two plant substrate or these two growing media can be used by their own, or we also can mix together with another growing media substrate such as pumice, vermiculite, and so on. So for example, we want to use this LECA as our growing media plant substrate. We need to wash very truly until it's clean. I don't know about you guys, but for me, usually before I using this LECA is one of my growing media substrate without mixing with another substrate. I prefer to soak this LECA 24 hours or even more before I start using this LECA for my plants. However, if I want to use this Pafcal chips as my growing media, actually it's more easy and more convenient compared to LECA in terms of the preparation before using them. But yeah, I still love using this two substrate as my plant growing media lah. I basically treat my plants that live in LECA and also in Pafcal chips almost the same with the plants that live in soil based on their ability. So for the plants that I use LECA as their growing media, usually when I want to water this plant, whenever the LECA almost completely dry. So as you can see, there's a condensation process is happening here. So that means even though I am not watering this plant for 2 or 3 days, even though they are already dry even though the LECA is already dry, the water from the condensation is still can help this plant in terms of the water supply. So yeah, and also for the plants that live in LECA, I didn't put water on their reservoir. Okay, same goes to the plant that live in Pafcal. As you can see, guys, this one is a top cutting of Philodendron Max variegated. So yeah, also same. So this Pafcal is actually completely dry. As I mentioned earlier, I totally treat my plants that live in LECA and Pafcal chips almost the same with the plants that live in soil. So for example, guys, this Monstera Acacoya guensis, it's already yeah, I think this one is ready to be watered and to be flushed. So if I want to water this plant in LECA, usually I will wash. I will water 2 or 3 times until I am satisfied with the watering process lah. Yep. And yeah, that is how I water the plants that live in LECA. Just like that. So after that, I will use another water that I already put a liquid fertilizer to together with the water into these plants that live in LECA. So this is the water that I already put some of my liquid fertilizer. So this is the liquid fertilizer that suggested to me by the seller. It just I think it's just a basic liquid fertilizer, but yeah, so far so good. So far in my experience, it seems good. So far the plants is okay, don't have any allergic symptoms. So yeah, this is here indoor plants, flower, rose, orchid, and so on lah. So yep, this is what I use as my liquid fertilizer, guys. So yeah, after that, this is the level of my water reservoir for the plants that are totally in LECA. So yeah, that is how I water and that is how I fertilize my plants that live in LECA, totally in LECA. And the last water that I use is the water that have a fertilizer, liquid fertilizer. Okay, again, so this is my Syngonium batik. Syngonium batik, guys, also live in LECA. So just wash them like this until I am fully satisfied with what I'm doing. Okay, so again, just like that, just like that, guys. Alright, so meanwhile guys, for my plants that live in Pafcal Chips, usually what I'm doing is I just water the plants same as like the plants that live in LECA, like this. Like this. Okay, so we can see that this Pafcal Chips is drawn by the water. So what I'm gonna do is I will flush the water out like this. Until it's totally normal lah. Okay, like that. So this plant, this Pafcal Chips have a osmocote fertilizer inside, so I'm not gonna use the water that already have a liquid fertilizer on it, because while we need to fix with only one type, one way fertilizing, because we don't want our plants to be over fertilized, because if the plant is over fertilized, guys, it might be harm our plants in any way, either on the leaves or maybe on the roots, or we might totally lost our plant. So don't do that, don't over fertilize your plants. So yeah, I just use the tap water or filter water to do this lah. So yeah, guys, that's all for the plants that live in Pafcal Chips. As you can see now, the Pafcal Chips is already darker compared than before. I also have the plants that I propagate into combination of these two substrate. This my Philodendron Perseverance, guys. I combine the substrate in between of LECA Pafcal chips, pure mass inside. So this is 2 or 3 weeks of propagation. As you can see, guys, the roots of this parazo verde, it's so nice. Look at that. Look at it, guys. Nah, see, you see, guys. So for the plants that I propagate into this combination of the substrate, usually I'll do the same. Guys. Yeah, I'm doing the same. Nothing is changing. The plant watering process is the same. See, I'll let the Pafcal chips soak the water like this. Turn it around. Okay. Until I think this satisfied. See? Okay, I repeat this process 2 or 3 times, guys. Depends. If I have much times, a lot of times, free times, then I will do 2 or 3 times lah. Okay, that's good. That's perfect. So you can see the difference. This growing media for the plants in this combination, I will not put any water. I'll make sure there's no excess water on the bottom, because I do believe that Pafcal chips, LECA, and also pure maize is already good enough in terms of soaking the water, providing the water for the plants in this propagation. So there should be fine, guys. So yeah, guys, so that's it. As you can see, the difference, there's no big difference, there's no huge difference in between watering and fertilizing the plants that live in LECA and also Pafcal chips. So far, the plants that live in LECA, most of the plant parents is they experience that the roots of the plants that live in LECA usually rot more easily compared than the plants that live in soil. I think that is maybe because of actually we know that LECA is expanded clay, which is already providing such a good amount of water to our plants. So that is why we don't need to maintain a water on their reservoir. So that is why I think the best solution for us is treat the plants same as the plants that live in soil. Make sure the plants that live in LECA the LECA is completely or almost dry in between our next watering. So as you can see, this one is already, before I water, it's already almost dry. So that is how I know I need to water, and then I need to fertilize the plants that I use a LECA as their growing media. So I think that's it for today's sharing video about how I water and how I fertilize my plants that living their life in Pafcal chips and also LECA. It's very simple, not so complicated, as long as we know the function of each of the substrate that we use as a growing media for our houseplant. Thank you so much, guys. For clicking this video, watching this video, and joining me on this sharing video. I really appreciate your time watching this video, guys. It really means a lot to my channel, And I hope this video also answers some of the question that requested from my subscriber. For those who haven't subscribed into my channel, make sure to click the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any updated video or any planting contents from me in the future. So yeah, I think that's all. Last but not least, arigatou gozaimashita, kamsahamnida maraming salamat, thank you very much. Sehingga kita berjumpa lagi di video yang akan datang. Bye bye guys.